My name is Christina Rodriguez. I'm shooting for an A, and this group type is for single parents who are currently court mandated to come to a cooperative parenting class. The setting is an empty jury room at a courthouse. It's 9 in the morning on a Saturday. No one wants to be there. And some of the dynamics are that because this is a mandated mandated class, it's many of the members don't want to be there. Also, we kind of I'm going to kind of push away from this idea that they're being punished for having to be like this, that the class is a type of punishment. Also, this is mainly psychoeducational, and because a lot of parents are going through a hard time, they're going to be seeking like more therapeutic forces, a lot of support from each other, which I'll enforce some of that. But for the most part, the main goal is to be psychoeducational. Because another dynamic is that because it's psychoeducational, I'll mostly be presenting information. We're going to have people who are of the same race. They're all going to be Hispanic. They're all going to be El Paso natives. They're also, but they're all going to be different genders and different educational levels. So that's one of the considerations to look out for, is to kind of simplify the information that I'm giving to make it palatable for everybody. And also, another dynamic is that the group members are going to differ in the severity of conflict with their ex-spouses. And so that's another consideration to make. Also, because it's a psychoeducational group, we're going to have a short beginning and a short ending. A lot of energy and a lot of active listening is going to be used because these are mandated clients, encouraging and supporting and things like that. Also, we're going to go over some of the questions about the information and reactions about the information that's given towards the end, again, because these are mandated clients. Okay.
Doesn't help at all with the parenting.
Oh yeah, mine tells me he doesn't want to do the listening because he doesn't want me going out. Can you believe that? That's just ridiculous. I should go leave him on his doorstep and see what he does then. Call the police.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right.
Sucks to be here.
I know. I totally understand.
Do you?
I do. If I hate to be up this early on a Saturday morning as well. But we're gonna try to make the best of it today, and so hopefully we can make good use of this time that we're here today. So my name is Christina Rodriguez. I'm a clinical social worker over here for family court services. I understand this is a mandated client. I understand that a lot of us don't want to be here, and what I hope to do today is we're not teaching you how to be parents. Y'all already know how to be parents. But I'm hoping to help you get some information on how to better cooperate with the parent of your child. And today we're going to go over anger management. That's one of our topics. And we're going to be meeting every Saturday for the next 5 Saturdays at 9 in the morning, going over various topics. So next Saturday, we're going to go over the rights of parents. The Saturday after that, our third Saturday, is going to be child development and some difficulties that divorce can cause in child development. Then we're going to go over conflict management in our last session, and then we're going to kind of wrap up from there. This is mostly an educational group, what they call it is a psychoeducational group, and that means that we're going to be talking about some of the. I'm sorry,
Ma'am, I'm not psycho.
Well, it doesn't. I know it's just a term, and it doesn't. We're not calling anybody psycho. Okay. What we mean is
my ex calls me that, and I really don't appreciate it.
Thank you, and I'm sure we can all relate to having conflict with our ex-spouses. So, again, what we're going to be talking about is just some tips, some educational aspects of cooperative parenting, and so again, we're going to be going over some really serious stuff in these classes. And what I want to let you all know is that some of this stuff, and you know, maybe this isn't going to apply to you, but I've seen it a lot in other classes where a lot of parents, because we're talking about this serious stuff, and because they might not have the opportunity to discuss this stuff, and in other cases, they have a lot of trouble talking about these topics. And so if at any time you feel like it's kind of you're struggling with one of the things that we're talking about, if at any time you don't feel comfortable, you need to step out, you're more than welcome to. Bathroom breaks, water, whatever it is, go ahead and feel free to step out. The restrooms are right over here. And also, if there's a particular topic that you're really struggling with, and maybe you feel better about talking about it, then go ahead and feel free to hang back after class. Either that or email me. I'll go ahead and give y'all one of my cards before you leave today, and that way we can maybe talk about helping you guys get some information about some therapy or some support groups. Okay, so what I would like to do, our first activity of the day, is I would like us all to go around and tell me your name, how many children that you have, how long how long have you been in the court process, and also give me a number. So I want you to think about, from 1 to 5, I want you to think about how your cooperation is with the other parent. So 1 is the absolute worst, 5 is the absolute best. So 5, you're getting along great, 1, not so much. And think about your last interaction that you had with the other parent. Think about the tone of voice that you all use with each other, like how often you fight. Go ahead and assign that a number. Okay. And so, all right. So once again, just in case y'all forgot, it's your name, how many children that you have that are involved in this court process, how long you've been involved in the court process, and what's that number? Okay. So would you like to start?
Sure. My name is Elsie. I have 2 children, and I've been in this process for about 4 months now.
Okay.
So, yeah,
Thank
that's
you.
so long.
And what number would you think you're at right now?
I would say we're at a 3 because he's like kind of not cooperative with me. He just does everything by the book and doesn't want to do anything extra. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. And we'll kind of go over about how the court order and stuff like that. So, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to go next?
Ruben and Gail.
Welcome.
2 kids for 5 years.
5 years? Okay. Wow, that's quite a while. So how would you say your level of conflict is right now with the other parent?
Resistant.
Resistant.
Yeah, she doesn't stop. She likes to keep arguing for everything.
What number do you think it would be?
Resistant?
Yeah. Well, between 1 and 5, 5 being the best, 1 being the worst.
Probably like a 2 right now.
Okay. A 2. All right. And yourself?
My name is Marina. I have 2 children, and I have been going through this divorce for about a year now.
Okay.
I'm waiting for my house to sell so I can pay him off. And we get along great. My relationship with him is a 5.
Okay. Great. So maybe you can help us with any tips that you might have.
Oh, I'd be happy to. Yes.
Thank you. So today we're going to be talking about anger management. And again, this is a topic that, maybe you're struggling with. Maybe you do great with it. But we all have times that when we're not at our best. And so here, even if this topic doesn't really apply to you, maybe it will later. And okay, so we're going to talk about the physical symptoms of anger and some of the psychological symptoms of anger. So we're going to go over both. So some of the physical symptoms of anger that we may experience is whenever we're in conflict with another person, when we're arguing or having a very heated discussion with our ex-spouses, we may feel some of the symptoms of anger coming on. And so for that, it looks different for everyone. And so you may feel your heart beating fast. You may feel your breath shortening. You may feel maybe some tension around your neck. So what are some of the physical symptoms that you feel when you're angry?
Well, sometimes I get a headache. God, their dad just gives me a headache all the time. I get a headache.
Okay.
I get a headache, and then sometimes I'll cry, but not because I'm sad. It's just I'm just so pissed off, and I can't hit him.
Okay. Thank
So,
you. So
yeah.
we're having crying, headaches, anything else?
I go shopping whenever I start feeling angry. I just go spend some more of his money. That makes me feel better.
Okay, thank you. How about you, Ruben? You're kind of shifting a little bit.
I just get very frustrated, very violent.
Okay. Very violent? What do you mean by that?
Just angry.
Just very angry?
Outbursts.
So what does that look like for you?
More like just not control of it.
Okay.
Mostly
So,
because I'm frustrated or everything.
so do you mean like you're yelling? Are you
Yeah.
hitting?
Objects, yeah.
Running object. Okay. So yelling and hitting. Okay. So and also, in the Hispanic culture, there's been studies done that show that one of the ways that people of our culture tend to feel anger is through what they call somatization. And so what that means is that they feel like their stomach is sick when they're angry. We may feel like we may feel sick rather than, well, along with our anger, but that's one of the ways that we feel it. And when it comes to your children, that's another one of the ways that you can tell when something's wrong when they're being emotional is that they'll start they won't say like, oh, I'm sad, they'll say like, oh, my stomach hurts and stuff like that. So we went over some of the physical symptoms of becoming angry, and now I want to go over some of the psychological symptoms of becoming angry. And so, like Maureen has so helpfully pointed out, is that we might feel like we want to hurt somebody. And we know that just that being angry is not an excuse for putting anybody else in danger. There's one thing, it's totally normal and okay. All feelings are okay, but it's not okay to do whatever we want with them. Cognitive behavioral theory is a concept that we use to mean that our thoughts cause our feelings, and so when we control our thoughts, we can control our feelings. And so when we get angry, some of the things that we might be telling ourselves in our head can be what's causing our anger. So go ahead and think about the last time you got angry. And I'm going to give you guys a couple of seconds to think about that. And then after that, go ahead and tell me, what were you thinking when you were getting angry? Tell me about the last time you got angry and what were some of the things that you were thinking?
The last time that I got angry was when he said that, or he just bailed on my kids. He wasn't going to take them on Thursday like we agreed upon.
Okay.
Yeah, so I got really upset.
So what were some of the things that you were thinking?
I was thinking that he's worthless, he's not a good father. I was thinking, I was blaming myself for choosing that type of father for my kids.
Thank you.
All that.
Thank you. Those were all really good thoughts. Mr. Rubin, I see you're kind of struggling with this subject, it seems like. Am I getting that? Am I reading that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to tell us about the last time you felt angry?
Just the other day.
Okay.
Just because it's been so long. Just having to deal with, it's always about the girl's point of view, never the guy's. That's a big issue.
So that's one of the thoughts, if I'm understanding that correctly, it seems like one of the thoughts that you were having is that it's always the female's way.
Yes,
Is that
that
what
was
your
point of view. That's
point of
accepted.
view? Okay.
Well, why don't you share one of yours so we can get an idea of what the man feels?
Do you feel comfortable sharing?
No, because it's women, so.
Okay. Thank you. Miss Marina, do you want to tell us about the last time you got angry?
It must have been, gosh, I would say maybe about 2 weeks ago. You know, we don't really have a very bad relationship, like I said. Everything is peachy. Um, he makes me upset at times because of the kids, but I get over it. And so, yeah, what was your other question? I'm sorry.
Well, I was hoping that you would tell us about the last time. Well, tell us more about the last time you got angry and what were some of the things that you were telling yourself?
Oh, yeah. Well, the last time I was angry was because he didn't want to pay the child support, so I constantly got to be calling my attorney so that he can call his attorney and remind him that a payment is due. And so, yeah, that was one of the last times that I got upset. It was, of course, because the money was not here on time.
Okay. So here we're talking. What I'm hearing from all of y'all is that when you're becoming angry with the other parent, and you're having these thoughts, it's stuff like he always does that, or she always does this, or it's not fair, or things like that. Whenever we use the word always, it's usually what we call an irrational thought. It's not necessarily true, correct? So that's something that we can consider. But thank you all for sharing. Great job. So next we'll talk about. I want to congratulate all of you all right now because I can tell that each and every one of us were really thinking about some of the stuff that we talked about. We're really being honest with ourselves and figuring out some things that we can do to help our situation. And so I can tell that you all, each and every one of us sitting here, is a very dedicated parent and dedicated towards maintaining that cooperative relationship with the other parent, because both children, we know that they need a good relationship with both parents. So today we talked about anger management, and we talked about some of our physical symptoms. We talked about some of the kind of thoughts that we have that may cause our anger. We talked about some methods of changing our thoughts so that we can control our anger. And then finally, we talked about some tips for controlling our anger. So what I'd like to do is kind of go over with each of you, check in with each of you. I'd like to know how you're doing with this topic, and I'd like to know what's one thing that really stuck out to you from this session, and then what's one thing that you can do today, that you can start doing today to start controlling your anger better and hopefully creating a more cooperative relationship with the other parent. So 2 things. Would you like to start, Miss Marina?
Yes, sure. So, what do I do to, what things can I change so that I don't have an angry outburst?
Yes.
Is to count to 5. Just the deep breathing exercises that we did here, and the little hand exercises that helped me.
Great.
So, help me calm down so that I don't elevate the situation.
Okay.
That's what I learned.
Thank you. So, Mr. Rubin, would you like to share one of the things that you learned from this class and one of the things that you can start doing today to manage your anger towards the other parent?
I guess that it's still hard to fight the woman's part in the legal system. So I guess one thing I could do is find someone who can be in between and not have to deal with it at all.
Okay. So what I hear you saying is that maybe you're accepting that this process is not fair,
Yeah.
because it's not, and I think we can all agree to that. And one of the things that you're going to do, or that you can do, is to put a mediator. Who are you thinking of as a mediator? As somebody that
Probably someone that can get through, probably either an attorney or someone, some kind of advocate in the court system.
Well, the thing is that this court proceeding is temporary, but the cooperative parenting hopefully is going to go on for until your child moves out of the house. So, who do you think would be a good mediator? Could it be a member of your family, a member of her family?
I would say not her family, but I guess we could figure that out as far as finding someone that's neutral.
Okay. Thank you. Miss Elsie?
I guess I've learned that that the fighting, it affects the kids. So, I'm willing to be more cooperative and, work with him and try to be a little more understanding so that the kids don't feel the effect of that.
Okay. Great. All right. Well, I want to thank you all for being here again, and thank you all for being open and honest with ourselves. And I would say go ahead and give yourself a break, because it sounds like all of you all are doing the best that you can.